Believe Nation, happy Thursday. We got one more IG live on the day. Super excited to be back. This is a typical Thursday for me. It's just nonstop. Let me show you my calendar quickly. Let me show you the calendar quickly. Look, we're gonna just flip it over here. So this is Thursday. Can you see? Kind of. These are all of the, it's just like 25 minute. So the IG live, I did my Facebook group, IG live, phone call, Zoom, podcast, Zoom, phone call, like nonstop. But it's the best. I love it. This is one of my favorite things to do, and I'm excited that every Thursday I get to just put on my extrovert hat on and just worry about trying to bring as much value as possible to Believe Nation, to my community. So I'm waiting on another special guest that I'm just looking at the chat, see if she's here. Until then, welcome back, Antonio. Amazing, my guy. Antonio, here we go. I love it. Evan and Holly in the house. Troy Rollins, welcome aboard, man. Abhishek, good to have you. Joe Corcione, welcome aboard, man. Temi Tope, welcome. All right, while we wait for, you guys have a quick question, pop it down below, and I can hopefully answer it while we wait for my special guest to join us here for this session. Amazing. Derry 1724, welcome. Moses in the house, welcome. Jack Graham, welcome aboard. The boy, Mohammed, welcome. Whew. It's nonstop. It's a nonstop, crazy day. I love it. This is really why I think it's so important that you have different days that you do different things, or at least big blocks of time, because all of the energy and love and enthusiasm that I get from my last IG Live and phone call and hangout and interview, I bring that into my next one, right? And so like I get to stay in this zone. A big reason why people lose momentum is they're just not in the right energy zone. They're switching energies too much. You're moving between creating to then taking a phone call to then making a video to then writing your next song. You just bounce between too much energy, and you end up feeling like, this is how people get fried. You get burned out because you're spending too much time doing things, too many different types of things in a day, where if you just stayed focused on the most important thing every day, you'll have a lot more success. Anyway, I see my special guest here in the chat. Let me find her. I'm excited for this one. I'm excited. You guys are gonna love her. You guys are gonna love her. We're inviting her in.
Hey!
And there she is.
I'm here. Finally, we get to meet.
Pastor Sheryl Brady in the house. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Sheryl Brady in the house for sure. I've been in the house for a long time. Glad to be in your house.
I love it. If you guys know the Potter's House, she's the pastor from Potter's House North. Bishop Jakes has been a long-time friend, supporter of the channel, been on a couple times, so it's awesome to have you on here as well to share your story. First off, how are you managing your community from home? Like, how do you're so, like, the whole Potter's House family and the community and the connection and everything you built, and now from home, like, how are you doing it? How are you managing?
Well,
what are your strategies now?
You know, what's really cool is that we have a great team. Team is so important. I told my team right at the beginning of this, I said, this is not about a superhero. This is about a super team, because this is such a big thing. And I think and I really said that to encourage them to work together, because it does us no good if somebody has a bunch of ideas and they're sitting here holding on to them, and then you have another part of your team over here who is just trying to figure out what we can do. So it's important that we collaborate and that we talk, and that's what we've done. Zoom has become so important to us, and we've sat right here in all of our individual homes, had Zoom meetings, strategy meetings, and we just kind of have approached this like a blank sheet of paper, and we're like, okay, tell me what you think. We put all those ideas in a pot, stir them up, and somehow, some way, man, we're working our way through it.
I love it. And how are you maintaining the community connection to your parishioners, to the people who are coming out?
Yeah,
Now they can't.
And you know what's really crazy is I feel like we are more attached now and more connected now than we were before this whole thing ever hit. Because we do a lot of FaceTime. I even got my team in different, like a parade of cars. We went to our elderly people's homes and we took them a little care package and just set it on their front porch. And we called, let them know it was there. And we had them look out the windows. They were waving at us. We were waving at them. And it did their heart good, but it did our heart good, because sometimes you don't realize what you've got until you don't have it anymore. And it's like, I'm just happy to see them alive and I'm happy to see them smile. And so we did things like that. We've done a lot of meetings, a lot of, like I said, with Zoom, we've done, I've done elders meetings, I've done ministers meetings, they've done department head meetings, and we've gone above and beyond to try to connect with people, because I know when you're in a crisis, one of the first things you want to hear is a voice that's familiar. Right. And so that's what we've tried our best to just keep our voice in their ear through all of this.
And what do you think the message is that people need? Because the message they're getting is fear and anxiety and scarcity and, all that. What's the message people need a little bit more of in their life?
Well, I think they need hope. I think, and I'm not denying the scarceness, the anxiety and all of that. I was thinking this morning, man, I feel like I have been through all of those. I've been through fear, anxiety. I've been through anger, just all within my own home, in my own mind, thinking, God, our lives have changed so drastically. But I think that it's what I know that has gotten me through what I faced. And I think I have to hold on to what I know. And for us in our religious community, it's the hope that God is in control, and that we're going to get through this, and we're going to, like everybody said, it seems so redundant, but it is so true, man, that we're going to get through it together. And that's what we've done. We've tried to find ways to stay together, but I believe we'll get through it. I mean, we're not the first people that's ever faced a crisis. This is the biggest one in my lifetime that I know of, but I don't want them to there's something for us to get out of this moment, and I've been doing some podcasts and Facebook lives and telling people, or asking people, what does this moment demand of you? What does it demand of you? Let's not miss this, and when we come out of this, I don't want to be the same. I don't want to go back to the same old. I really want us to be different. There's a sense of love, a sense of, I want you to make it, that's among us right now. And I think we need to continue to do that when we come out of this.
And how are you personally balancing staying on top of what's happening and knowing what you need to know about, the cases in your county or your state, but also now being a leader and not being overwhelmed by it?
Yeah. And see, my problem is I'm a news addict. I have it on every television in my house, every channel. I mean, I'm just like, because I want to keep my head in that. I keep my heart in hope, and I keep my head into the facts. And even just because you got the TV on, don't mean you're getting the facts, because it's kind of crazy today. But I'm that person. I like to blend the two, and so I've had my head in both worlds. And I also, when it comes to my local church, I have a team that's boots on the ground, as best as boots on the ground can be in social distancing. But they keep me abreast. They bring things to me. We kind of beat it out as a team, best decisions and those kind of things. But I mean, you got to listen to what's going on. You got to listen to the scientists. You got to listen to all of those that are out there. But you have to balance that, man, because if you don't, you'll get overwhelmed. And I just have to tell myself, listen, if everybody gets overwhelmed, Sheryl, you can't. You got to stay above it. Somebody's got to stay above it. And that's what I try to do. And just, and for us, prayer, meditation on the Word of God, that's what keeps us going, and it's been a lifesaver.
Is that something that you're like, are you watching news for a news addict? Are you watching the news and then immediately going to prayer and then starting your
I think I do
day?
both at the same time, man. I think I'm like watching the news saying, oh my God, please help us. So, and to me, prayer is not like I have a moment that I'll go into my little moment, of my space of prayer. But I think you can build an altar of prayer anywhere. And I
Hmm.
think a prayer starts out with a conversation with God in the morning, and it ends with God. And it happens all throughout the day with me. And I just try to communicate with him. So it's not like, oh, this is my 5 minutes of prayer. No, it's like that conversation, because I need to hear. And I'm the person that believes that we serve a speaking God, and he gives me peace, and he gives me ideas, and he gives us strategy. People in the business community today, people look at this thing and they are like, some people see it as a Goliath, and they are like, there's no way, there's no good in this. And then you have another core group of people who sees 1,000 opportunities and says, no, this is an opportunity for me to do A, B, C, and D. And whatever it is, none of us can afford, or neither do we want to miss this moment, because I think there's something positive that can come out of all of it.
Can you talk about praying for strategy? Because I think a lot of times when people pray, they're just like, please save me, please help me win the lottery, please, like,
Yes.
please get, but praying for strategy is different. Praying for strategy is now like, give me the tools and resources for me to then go off and be a leader and be a solution. So in your head or in your actions, how do you pray for strategy effectively?
Well, I've let me just throw this out here. Judges 6 talks about a man named Gideon. Gideon had to fight an enemy, and Gideon actually asked God to give him the strategy. So I've done that. I've just said, God, I need strategy. And see, I don't even know what I don't know. So I need you to help me to know everything I need to know. And then I take stuff like that. I balance that with the ideas of my team, because I don't just ask for myself, but I say, like God, everybody in their own lane, will you just speak to them, give them insight, give them direction, and call our word, and everybody's word has been innovation. God, give us innovation, because while we're surprised by this, God is not. And so we've just brought our ideas to the table. But in my prayer time, it has been that, Lord, now, God knows needs that we don't know about. And so that's why prayer is important, because it's like, he'll say, he'll say to me, he gave me the idea of getting in the car and driving around, but it wasn't originally my idea. Where that came from was I watched my grandkids' teachers. They got in their car and they were driving through the neighborhood and waving at the kids just to let them know, hey, we're apart, but we're together and we love you. And I thought, well, my God, I'm going to take that and I'm going to do that for our senior citizens and let them know, hey, we're here, we love you. We took them gifts. So I think it's like you incorporate, and then and God gives you the moment of like, now do it right now. And that's kind of how we do it.
I love it. And what I love about it is you're owning your role as a leader to say, I have a part in this. Like, you give me the strategy, but I still have to go do something. I'm not expecting you to do everything for me. I gotta go off and build a better world too.
Absolutely.
Now, you said moment a whole bunch of times, and I know your thing is don't miss the moment. And I think it's so timely, because I think a lot of people right now are missing this moment and not seeing this moment as a chance for them to create a better world, a better life for themselves. I love how you're saying, hey, we need to come out of this stronger than what we went in. So what is not missing the moment? I mean, you have your book out. It's almost like your mission statement, it seems. So
Yeah.
What does not missing the moment mean to you?
Well, first of all, I thought when my book came out in the middle, nobody wants to release a book in the middle of a corona crisis, but especially a book called Don't Miss the Moment. And so I was like, God, I think I might have missed this moment. And now I got a book out there talking about it. So I had to battle that for a minute. But, the whole purpose behind the book was, I think we underestimate and undervalue the power of a moment, because they're small enough to miss, but they're big enough to change your life forever. And so the whole preface behind the book was, hey, let's slow down, everybody. And because, we're a generation of wanting what's next. And yet sometimes I think we're missing what's now, because we've got the goal set on what's next. And my God, that's what's happened. We slowed everything down. And I think it's caused people to really, realize the importance of family, to realize the importance of the connection between parents and kids, to appreciate being able to get out of the house, to go to church. Our homes have become school. Our homes have become sanctuaries. Our homes have become everything. And we're a generation, me and probably you, a lot of us, we had to learn how to be at home because we're so busy on the go that we didn't know how to be at home. Well, I know I'm up to here with being at home, but I'm looking forward to getting out. But don't miss this, because God doesn't. I'm not saying that God started all this. I don't believe that at all. But I do know how he can take something horrible and work it together for good. And the whole world has stopped on a dime. And this is the first time it's happened in my generation and in my lifetime. So I want to know why. And what is it that I'm supposed to know coming out of this? I don't want to come out different, man. There's been too many. There's what, 45, 46,000 people that have died in America. I don't want to come out of this and be the same and act like, well, that was nothing. No, that's somebody's life. What are we supposed to learn through this?
And so what have you come up with?
Well,
what are we supposed to learn?
When I find out, I'm gonna write another book. No, but I think it's back to the things that we've taken for granted. Like just being able to go out and see somebody and smile, hold the door for somebody, just to be acquainted with people, to be able to. They say we may never shake hands again. I don't know, but if it's nothing else, just to know that people matter and that they've been hurting and they're suffering. And I just can't move on with my life as if nothing happened when people have had to bury people and not even be able to give them a funeral, And so my goal now is to find those that are hurting, and I'm finding out that that's not hard, and to pour some hope into them and let them know, yeah, man, this is not right. It's hard, but you're not going through it by yourself. I'm on the other end. I've counseled so many people through this over grief and loss, and that's one of the great things I'm seeing that's coming out of this. Just to let people know we care. I can't hug you right now, but I promise I will.
I love it. For people who are watching live or who will watch the replay, the idea of not missing a moment, what can they do today, right now, live, to appreciate the moment that's in front of them, whether it's watching us and listening to your wisdom, or an activity they can do just today, maybe not like a big macro life-changing decision, but just to recognize the moment today. What simple exercise would you recommend for them?
Yeah, well, I think it's good that they do an inventory of their lives and recognize the stuff that they got to be thankful for. Because if we're not careful, especially if you're a news person like me, you can be more full of fear, and it will drown out all of the good things that you do have to be thankful for. And so you need to just do an inventory and say, well, okay, so I don't know how that's going to end, and I don't know how that's going to work out. But here's what I do know. I'm loved. I am valuable. I can reach out to somebody through text. I can't go anywhere, but I can pick up my phone and I can say, hey, I want you to know you matter to me. I've used that phrase so much in this crisis, you matter to me. And I think it's been helpful to people to know that they're not alone. People, if you got a family, okay, you're not suffering the aloneness, but there's a lot of people, single people, elderly people who are living alone. And they feel alone. We can stop that today. If we all went through our phones and pulled out everybody that we see and we know they're alone, just text them and tell them, we're going to come through this. We're going to make it.
I'm taking notes. I'm writing. It's the Pastor Sheryl challenge. Find 5 people and tell them you matter to me.
You matter to me.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Like that's something you can do right now.
Absolutely.
Right after this is find 5 people, take the Pastor Sheryl challenge.
That's my challenge.
5 people and tell them you matter to me. I like, it's surprising how much of an impact something so simple can make for both parties.
Yes, absolutely. And what it does, it just throws out a lifeline to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, that lets them know, hey, in a crazy moment, I've told people, I said, listen, we don't have to have a big, long text conversation. But if you just pick up your phone and say, hey, I'm on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, I'm about to freak out, just hit me a number and say, hey, I'm an 8. And so what does that mean? That means I'm going to either text you back and say, hey, give you some words of encouragement. And on top of that, I'm just going to ask the God that I know to help you. And it keeps the scale of our friends, because what good does it do if we all come through and our friends don't come through and our family don't come through? It's a lonely world.
Yeah. I like it. People are liking it in the chat. Everybody's saying you matter to
Cool.
me. They want to take the Pastor Sheryl challenge. What are you thinking for when we do get through this, whether it's, you know, a month or a couple months or however long it's going to take? What changes are you going to bring to how you run your church? What do you think is being different?
Man, I think everything is going to be different. And that's what my staff and I are talking about now. We're like, I think people are still going to want to come to a physical building, but what happens if they don't? What if they think, man, I love going to church, and I don't have to get dressed? We're actually looking at all of that, but I think because of just the structure of what we do, we like the assembling of people together. Our people do, but I think we're gonna immediately. I think we're gonna appreciate one another more. We're gonna cherish one another more. I think we're gonna have a lot less physical meetings now that we know we don't necessarily have to do that. Just those kind of things. And what I really want, I think everybody needs to be aware, is that there's going to be a lot of hurting people, grieving people, broken people. And if there's anything that's going to be important, and I'm challenging myself in this moment to find ways to encourage people to come through, because you can come through it and still not come through it. You know, you can bring all of it with you. You can survive it. You can outlast the disease, outlive it. But if you're shut down on the inside, then we're missing a part of you that matters to us. And I need you to be whole. I need you to be whole. And because there's something that you bring to my life that nobody else will bring to my life, and I need that. That's why you matter to me.
People are putting hashtag Pastor Sheryl challenge with the "You Matter to
Cool.
Me." That could
That's
be your next
awesome.
book. You Matter to Me.
Oh man, that's right. I'll have to give you the credit for that. I really will.
Well, we'll give it to God.
Yeah, there you go.
For people who are feeling they know somebody who has been through some crazy trauma or loss, or they're struggling like right now in a really big way, and they don't have the typical outreaches that they normally do. What do you is it just as simple as saying "You matter to me, can I help"? Like, what do you recommend for somebody who they know somebody else is really hurting, but they don't know how to reach out and help?
Yeah, well, I think that we have to understand, everybody needs to understand this. When you love hard, you grieve hard. And I think we have to give people the permission to, like, you know, give yourself some space. This is real. I say that you have to feel the pain in order to get for the pain to heal. The pain has to be felt. So you can't heal the pain until you feel the pain. So I always acknowledge people, feel it, own it. It's real. But at the same time, know that I'm not far away. And there's too many of us that are in relationships with each other for any one person to feel like they're not going to make it. But you have to let them know, feel the pain, take your time. You know, you're hurting, but take your time. You can't compare one loss to another loss. It's all different. And so I think we just have to give them permission. Hey, as your friend, I want you to know, it's okay to cry. I tell people that all the time. If you need to cry, cry. Get it all out, but drink lots of water, because when you cry, you dehydrate. And when you dehydrate, your brain don't work right, and you need your brain working right now. You know, but I think it's like giving them permission. Don't just blow this off like this didn't happen or it's not a big deal. It's a huge deal. And if you don't grieve right, you don't heal right. So we're going to have a lot of mental health issues when this is all said and done. So everyone that I can bring a little sunshine to, or a little word of encouragement to, maybe it's going to be one less name in the pile of those that are struggling. So, yeah.
I love it. Well, it's crazy how quickly time flies when you're having fun.
I know.
I appreciate the love, the energy, the sermon, really, that you gave us here today, the wisdom.
Thank you for giving me the platform.
For people who want to buy the book or
Yeah.
just learn more about you and what you're up to, who may not have heard of you yet, where do you want them to go next?
Please go to sherylbrady.com. That's where you can get the book. It's called Don't Miss the Moment. I know y'all won't forget that as many times as I've said that. You can go to sherylbrady.com, or you can go to the church, which is tphnd.org, tphnd.org. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm just out there just like you, trying to be like you, Evan Carmichael.
Appreciate the love. Thank you. Thank you for making time. I know it's kind of crazy and busy for you, but thank you for everything you're doing and the wisdom and light you're sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Much love.
You too. You matter to me.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.